Hello everyone and a very warm welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. And so today we're going to look at how to stop stuttering upon landing. So as we know, recently we've had a lot of issues with performance upon landing. Huge stutters to the point where you are absolutely messing up complete amounts of your landing, especially after a 2 or 3 hour flight. It's very, very frustrating. So I went on a hunt to see if I could change anything and improve anything. So I've looked at many forums and lots of suggestions that people have made, and we've come up with a few little things that I've found for me that's made quite a difference. So just so we can run over the system specs of my PC, so I've got a kind of middle range PC, nothing too top end. So we've got a 4060 GPU from Nvidia, we've got 64 gigabytes of DDR6 RAM, and we've also got the AMD Ryzen 7 3800X3D CPU. So that is the main sort of setup that we're running. So today we're going to look at a couple of things. So we're going to look at signing up to the Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 beta. So once this beta update actually is released, you won't obviously need to sign up to that. That is just a temporary thing at the minute to enable some new features. So in the new beta update, we'll notice that there is some stability improvements within the sim. It's using slightly less VRAM, which for those of us that have got like 12 gigabyte cards, that'll be really helpful. However, I would recommend a 16 gigabyte card minimum. And also it enables something called FSR3, which is to do with fluid motion frames and super resolution version 3. So that is what it stands for. Affability FX super resolution 3 is what it actually stands for. And that enables that within the beta. So how to get onto the beta, that's the first thing we need to look at. So let's just head down to the search bar, and we want to head to the Xbox Game Passy app. So just the Xbox app. As you can see, there's not much showing here. What you want to do is you want to click on your username on the top left hand side, and you want to head to Xbox Insider Program. And as you can see here, it's going to open another window. It'll take a couple of minutes to load all the options. It might just bring up another window first, and then you just have to go backwards a step, which it is doing. So what we need to do here is we just need to go backwards a step, and then we want to go to previews. And when we follow down the previews, you'll see Microsoft Flight Sim beta. And all you do is click on that, click join. It will say joining is now pending. What I did is restart my PC. Once I restarted the PC, it had signed me up. I launched the sim. It did a big update of about 10 gigabytes. And then once the update had completed, that was it. And I was on the beta. And enabling it to the FS3 settings. So if you look at the Discord page, you will see I've uploaded my newest settings on there. So feel free to head to my Discord page, which is in the link below. And my latest settings are on there for this spec PC. Obviously, it's not going to work for everyone. I appreciate that. If you get to a point where you've joined the beta, it's not made a difference, and you want to get away from it, what you need to do is you need to go to previews, and down here where it says joined, there'll be an option to manage the settings on this. So you click manage, click leave preview and save, and then basically that will, next time you launch the sim, it will take you back to the original version, which we will do once this sim update has been released. So it's sim update 2 that we're waiting for, basically. So, and that is one step in, we're getting slightly better performance. And I'm not going to say it's a game changer, because it's not a complete game changer on its own. There are other things that I found that I needed to do to improve that. So the next thing that we need to do is I've looked at, so if you're running the Fenix A320 and the GSX Pro, I've heard from quite a few people now that if you're coming into land, obviously GSX starts to load all the models for all your pushback tugs and your catering and stairs and all that appears straight away. However, what we've found is that you don't want that straight away on landing. So as you notice, when I come after landing on a flight, I select what stand I'm going to. By doing that, that then launches GSX to saying, oh, hang on a minute, we need to import these. And GSX does that automatically without the Fenix being involved with it. The thing that will change is that it won't load straight away. It will only load when you ask it to load, which generally will be after landing. So hopefully the stability will be a little bit better. So what we need to do is we need to head to our community folder. So mine is in a different drive completely. So I head to my community, and you'll see we've got Fenix A320 sat here. And what we want to do is go to Sim Objects, Airplanes, and then let's just head to one of these, the A320 CFMSL. And as you can see, we've got the aircraft configuration file there. So double click on the config file, open it in Notepad. And if we head downwards, you'll see that I've already changed these settings. So these will all have a 1 next to them. What you want to do is put them all to 0 apart from jetway. That's the only thing that you will leave with a 1 next to it. What you need to do is save that, close it. So just Control S, save it, close it. And then that is that step done. Obviously, if it doesn't work, just go back to it, put a 1 next to it, and then you'll be on to a winner. So the next step we're going to look at is we're going to look at something called AutoFPS, which is an external application which basically adjusts your flight simulator settings throughout your flight without you having to press anything. So what you do is you set certain confines, which we'll show you in a moment, of what altitude you're at to then what train level of detail you have. So if you're experiencing good performance everywhere else apart from landing, which is exactly what was happening with me, I was getting 60 frames per second solid until it come to about 10 foot from the runway, or 100 feet from the runway, and it would start to stutter, which completely ruined the landings. However, you don't really need a huge amount of terrain level of detail, especially with the sort of setup with the GPU I've got. It is basically maxing out and causing these stutters. And we're running out of VRAM is the main thing. So what we've done is to try and reduce that terrain level of detail. So what we're going to do is we are going to head over to Google. So just to go into Google and type AutoFPS and 2024 AutoFPS Microsoft Flights in 2024, and as you'll see, there's a first option here, GitHub. So that's what you want to be looking for, is from reset transponder, and it is Microsoft Flight Sim AutoFPS. So if we go into this, it will tell you a little bit about it. So basically it changes the dynamic level of detail and the object level of detail, which changes per altitude. So you can either maintain a certain target of FPS, or it depends. There's a few options how you want to deal with it. So what you want to do over on this right side here, you want to click on additional profiles, and there should be an option to download it at the bottom here. So you see assets, and it will say installer. Click on that, and then as you can see, it's installed already. So once it's installed, the logo is a bit of a strange one. It's a picture of a dog, as you can see here. So double click on that, and then that is going to open. Obviously I'm not connected to the sim at the moment, so it's not going to do a great deal. So what you want to do is you want to set your target. So what FPS realistically do you want? So I only want 30 FPS. That is what the general target should be. Obviously, because I'm using frame generation, I will get 60 FPS, but I've set my default for flight sim to 30 FPS as the target. And as we go down here, so if you don't have these options and it just appears like that, double click on these boxes, and then they'll all start to appear. So you want to look down at expert options. So this is where you want to basically choose, do you want a FPS sensitivity, an FPS tolerance, auto terrain level of detail, or FPS cap? So I've gone with auto terrain level of detail. That's what I want. And level of detail, we'll leave that at step 5. And then these are the important figures. So this is the top terrain level of detail base. So what altitude do you want to be at the base? So at 1,000 feet, I want it to reduce to 50. Generally speaking, I run it at 100. However, when we are above 5,000 feet, I can run it quite easily at 300. So that's what we've got opted for. So it's this side is the important side, is the base. So anything below 1,000 feet, it will move to 50. I could move it to 75. You can change it up and down as much as you want. And what you want to make sure you've got selected is auto object level of detail. And we don't need to touch anything with this. I've not touched anything at all with this. I've just left it exactly how it is. And then it will say you want ticked auto reduce settings. So if the target FPS of 30 frames per second can't be achieved, then you want it to reduce the object level of detail settings to achieve that. The VRAM usage, you can make it to a set or a max. So I've got it so it uses the maximum amount that it can. and all the rest we've left as it should do. So level of detail, clouds, trees, shadows is what I've got it set to, and that has been the perfect sort of mix for me personally. I don't know if anyone else has got any other settings to suggest, but if you do, feel free to pop it in the comments. But I've found this is the way it's worked for me. If you've seen some of my videos lately, in the last few days, the sim is so much more stable on landing, and it makes such a difference to your landing as well. Like, I've had so many better landings since these changes because it's not stuttering upon landing. Granted, sometimes the runway doesn't appear quite visually clear until you're really, really close to it, which isn't great. But at the minute, until I can get to the point of getting a new GPU or a new CPU and the sim's more optimized, I'm going to basically wait to see how this optimization works in the new sim update. If it works really well, then I might not need a new GPU. However, I got a feeling because it's only 12 gigabytes and I record as well, I think we are going to need a stronger GPU in all fairness. So hopefully these things will work for you. Like I said, I'm not going to say 100% guaranteed it's going to work, but it seems to do the trick for me. So it's certainly worth looking at. Certainly look at AutoFPS. I'll put all the links in the show notes below, and feel free to check out my Discord page, and then you'll see all my flight sim settings and what we've got them at to see if you can sort of match. Especially if you've got a similar setup PC, you should be onto a winner there. So let's see how you get on, and feel free to pop any comments if it's worked for you. If it hasn't worked for you, let me know as well, because I'm interested to see if this works for many people or if it only works for a select few. So thank you very much for joining us today. Really enjoyed doing this small little tutorial video on this. We're going to do part 2, which is going to be looking at DLSS swapper. So this will only apply to NVIDIA users. So if you're not an NVIDIA user, then this won't apply to you. So take care, guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And if you've got any comments, feel free to pop them below. And don't forget to join us on our Discord page, which the link is in the show notes below or on the channel page. So take care and bye for now. So what we need to do is to disable this upon landing. And